And in TikTok news, those who I've had conversations with and spoken to quite a lot, there's been a lot of conversation around what's going to happen with the TikTok ban. Is it going to get banned, etc.? So I thought it would be good to bring to the first show about where we're at with it, when we're likely to know more, and kind of to an extent what the reality is going to be for TikTok in the US, but also here in the UK and also across Europe, because in most cases there will be a level of copycat that happens depending on what happens in the US. And of course this year we can't not acknowledge the Pacific election that will be taking place in the next couple of months in the US as well, and depending on who wins that election is going to drastically change what happens to this policy, because it is a government policy. But to catch those up to speed and to catch those up, I'm going to read a couple of quotes for you. As of April 23, at least 34 of 50 states have announced that bans on state agencies, employees, contacts using TikTok on their government-issued devices. State bans only affect employees and do not prohibit them to using the app on their personal devices. So within a context, within a work context for especially government-linked businesses or government-linked devices, so the work phones of your senators, your civil servants, etc., there has been, from April 23, in 34 of the 50 states, there has been a ban, flat out ban. They are not allowed TikTok on their work phones, right? Now, what you do on your personal phone, up to you. Cool? Cool. Right. Now, you may be asking, right, specifically, what's wrong with TikTok? TikTok is owned by Byte Dance. Now, Byte Dance is a prominently Chinese company, and under Chinese law, so Pacific national security laws in China, the following quote is true. All organizations and citizens shall support, assist with, and cooperate with national security efforts and according to law, and shall protect the long story short is they can ask and they can request and they can be given access to any information that ByteDance may have on foreign bodies, on thoughts around what people's culture is in America, in the UK, etc., for the Chinese to use to push their agenda, right? I'm not going to go into the political details on that, but that's been the real main concern regarding TikTok since TikTok buying Musically a while ago, right? And after it went through the US Senate, there has been a understanding of the following statement from the BBC that ByteDance has 9 months to sell TikTok to a brand new buyer, and then has an additional 3 months grace period before the ban would take place. So in a world where a ban is going to happen, still unclear, as I said, the legal battles continue regarding that and what's going to happen with that. And we're unlikely to hear anything at all until 2025, because we've got the US election, as I alluded to. Again, the BBC claim if Mr. Trump wins, he may seek to block the ban from taking place, end quote. And that, I would potentially say, is because he's closer to freedom of expression, etc. But we will have to wait and see. The government, again a quote from the BBC, the article will be linked below, the UK government and Parliament banned TikTok from staff devices in 2023, and so has the European Commission. So again, they're following that American trend, which was you can do what you want on your personal phone, but on your work phone, where you could have sensitive data related to national security, related to what's happening in government policy, etc., etc., if you have a link to that and that's on your work device, we don't want TikTok on your phone, because there was lots of conversation around this ban in April about how much TikTok can see. Even if you don't have the app open, it can look, it can track your key presses, etc. If I can find it, I'll leave some articles, and if you do want me to go a little bit more in depth on this topic, then do let me know in the comment section down below. But at the end of the day, we're not 100% sure what is going to happen with the TikTok ban is at the moment, excluding the fact that government issued jobs, civil servants, etc., senators, so on in America, MPs and politicians in the UK and the European Union have banned, that there has been a ban on TikTok on their work phones. When the TikTok CEO was talking to the US Congress in January at the start of this year, the TikTok CEO shared about Project Texas, which was designed to basically firewall off the US's data they had collected. The problem with this was the launch when TikTok launched in 2016 to March 23, when they finished this little firewall, there was a lot of data, and the conversation that the US Senate wanted to have was, well, what did you do with this data? Where is this data? Have you deleted it? Are you going to be deleting it? And the CEO of TikTok said that the Chinese government has not specifically asked or has not been given any data related to TikTok. Now, whether we know whether this would be true or not, different conversation, but that seems to be the 100%, and he seemed to be quite wishy-washy in the research I've done about when that would fully be done. He did say, though, that he would put a third party in to show and confirm that data has been removed. And, you know, I'll leave clips and resources down below for you to validate what I'm saying here, but it will be interesting to see what actually does happen regarding the US ban, because I think it will also be the UK that follows suit, followed by Europe. Because normally us in the West, we sort of look to each other to see sort of those social clues. But also, to you as a business, what does that mean if the US market gets completely locked off for your TikToks? What does that mean if you're using TikTok as an ad platform for you to reach other business customers or other consumers, etc.? If you're a big TikToker or someone who's creating TikTok content on their phone, is that going to magically change or drastically change your market? So if they do ban it in the US, and you know, if you're a global company, is that going to hurt you financially to your bottom line? If you're in the UK and you use it to grow your business and they ban it, how are you building your other channels? How are you building your company to be stronger so that you're less reliant on one TikTok related app? It could be Instagram, it could be etc. Because this is the conversation around what happens if a social media goes tomorrow. It's the pro for building your own email list, because at least you own that, you control that data within reason, so that it's unlikely to be down to one of these mighty global companies that can just make you disappear tomorrow, or a government coming along and saying, we don't like how TikTok operates, we think they're spying on the American public or the US public, or the UK public or the French public or the German public, etc., and we're going to stamp it out and we're going to make it illegal for you to use TikTok. Will they go the Brazil approach? And if they do ban the TikTok off US and UK devices, for example, will there then be fines if it's found and proved that a citizen is using a VPN to use TikTok anyway? This is a big question. This is something that we don't actually know the answer to yet, because it hasn't happened. It's been banned on work phones related to government, sure, but it could stop there. It will depend, and I'll be sure to give any input I can as more information comes out, probably in the new year, about what's going on with the TikTok ban. What does it actually mean for your business, and etc. So that's the TikTok ban. That's where we are with it.